Hello, my name is Lisa Feldstein. I'm a health and fertility lawyer in Ontario, Canada. And in this video, I want to provide my number one tip for intended parents who are at the beginning of a surrogacy journey. So my number one tip is to choose a surrogate who you trust. And that is so much easier said than done. Because if you are going through the surrogacy process, it is a long process, especially for straight couples who have been trying to conceive for a long time. They've gone to fertility clinics, they've tried IVF, they've been through possibly years of trying, and they really want to move on with their lives and have their baby. For same-sex couples, often the lead up to the surrogacy process is not as long, but it still can be a very trying process, an expensive process. It's difficult all around. And finding a surrogate is often the hardest part of all. And so it's definitely tempting to want to say yes to the first person that you meet with, that you connect with, who might be willing to say yes, because it's hard to find a surrogate. There are not as many surrogates as there are people looking for surrogates. And I do get all of that. But the reason trust is so important is because the heart of these agreements comes down to trust. No matter what we put in these contracts, we cannot monitor surrogates' every action. They're doing this out of the goodness of their heart. There are no cameras installed in their home to confirm that they are in fact taking prenatal vitamins or that they're not going ATVing. There's no monitoring. There's no way to really confirm, despite whatever promises a surrogate makes, there's no way it can all be enforced, and it wouldn't be enforceable in court anyways. A lot of what we put in is kind of a good faith, it's intention, it's a shared understanding. But it comes down to trust. And that trust actually goes both ways. A surrogate has to have huge trust in intended parents. She is risking her health and she's giving up so much to carry a baby for another person or couple. She is trusting that that person or couple will pay her back if she's spending money out of pocket on something. She's trusting they will be good parents deserving of this huge gift that she's giving them. So the trust goes both ways. And if there's not that trust, it can be the possibility of conflict down the road because there might be some suspicion or assuming bad intent or just sort of nervousness around the process, or worst case scenario, that person wasn't trustworthy and they maybe would take advantage. For example, trying to get intended parents to pay for something they really shouldn't be reimbursing for, because in Canada, there's no payment, just reimbursement. So if we want it to be a smooth process, and we always do, then trust both ways actually is really at the heart of a surrogacy relationship. When intended parents and surrogate are trying to find each other, they should really develop a relationship first, a bit like dating, unless they already know each other, if they're family or friends. But if they're meeting strangers, developing that relationship first and getting to know each other so they have that know, like, and trust factor before moving on and actually signing the surrogacy agreement. So that's it for this video. I hope you learned something new, and I will see you in the next one.